Hey guys, Kevin here. I've got my PSP Go here. What I'm going to do in this video is talk about why I think that this is one of the best devices you can get to play retro games. Now before I talk about that, I just want to kind of quickly show you the device for those of you who haven't seen it before. This was released in 2009. It wasn't a huge success. It got discontinued about 2011. Now there's a few reasons why it didn't do well. One of the reasons was that it couldn't play discs, so if you had a big PSP collection, you couldn't play your games on this. And a lot of video game stores didn't want to actually sell it because of that. And a lot of the games digital, you could pick up PSP games quite cheap. You could only buy games digital for this. Comes with 16 gig of memory. It's got a 333 megahertz processor, stereo speakers, Bluetooth 2.0. Also featured Skype. It's got a memory card around the other side here. Now, get this in focus. This is an M2 memory card. Now, these were always more expensive as well. So, to store your games, you had to buy these little memory cards, and they were quite expensive. You can still pick them up, but they're becoming rarer. We'll just get it back in. So, as you can see, I've doubled the storage in this. It came with 16 gigabyte and I put another 16 in. The screen here, you can see it. It's 480 by 272 pixels. So the diagonal is 3.8 inches or 9.7 centimeters, and it can display 16.7 million colours. Now I'll just quickly go down. You've got a power port here. Now you can turn it on like that, or you can just quickly push it on and off to switch it on and off. It's got a PlayStation button there. You've got a little hole here for putting like a little carry string. That's the wireless button, the M2 button. You've got your shoulder buttons at the top. There's connections here. I think this is when you're connecting it to a larger screen. I think that's the mute button. It's got the volume buttons. On the back, I believe that you could use these. I think you could. Was these ones? No, that was a later one. It feels really good. I mean, I think I always loved this because I was a fan of the PlayStation, so I really like this controller. I take it with me all the time whenever I'm going travelling, and you can see I put in the headphones jack and just sit and play away. I always liked this format as well. Now, before I bought this, I looked at lots of these little devices that played retro games, played old Nintendo games and Sega Master System games, all that kind of thing. A lot of them were like really expensive. Some of them were like £100 odd, £150 even, and they weren't as good as this. I picked this up for £31.99. It came with its official leather carrying case, like that, really good, and it came with the official charger and cable. Now, you can see here that it's unfortunately not the old proprietary PSP cable. So if you lose that, you're going to have to buy another one. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to use a USB. This carry case is great, really good. You can buy other ones still as well. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to come up on screen, but you don't notice it so much when the screen's on, but there are a few little scratches on mine now. I've had it for a few years, but you can actually replace this quite easily. You can also replace the battery, but I mean, I've found that the battery life is actually quite decent on this. It'd be different if you're playing it like all day long. You might be annoyed with it, but I take it on a plane journey and it lasts me the whole journey. And if it was running out, just take a power bank with you, so there's no problems. If you've played the PlayStation before, you'll be used to this kind of setup. It's kind of like the PS3 menu system. All your settings there. All the storage, music, video, photos, all that kind of thing. You can set up to the PlayStation Network, go to the store. Now, I'll talk about this another time as far as what your opinion is of playing retro games. But this is actually, as far as playing retro games, this is one of the best systems in my opinion. There's a lot of people they play retro games on DS's, or they buy one of these systems that you'll see on Amazon, all these little retro machines. But I've found this to be absolutely amazing. And you can see here what I've been using. just quickly show you. You've got the memory stick. You can put in official games there, like official PSP games. You can put in there. Now this is the thing. See when you've got. You need to do this flashing thing to flash the game. This is what you need to do. It's just something you need to do sometimes if you've installed games on it. Installed retro games on it. Sorry. So, and you can see 21st of September. You can see some of the games there. Now, what I was going to show you was more like the retro games. And you can see I've got an arcade emulator here. Now, again, price is one of the reasons why I love this as well, because, like, you know, when I was looking at all these different options, like all these other systems were so much more expensive, and I found that this did everything, you know. Plus, you know, there's such a great PSP collection that's available to it. Plus, you can, you know, there's quite a good community there for emulators. Now, I put the emulators on this years ago, like talking as soon as I got it, a couple of years ago, and I've never updated it, and I've never really had a problem with it. There's one of the emulators that's a little bit slow, and that's a pain. I think it's for the Game Boy Advance, I think. So I could probably find a different emulator for that. So you can see these are all arcade games. I grew up with these things. All these games were in arcades. They're all at the bowling and the cinema, all that kind of thing. Try some Pang. The other thing as well is because all these are different emulators, you find that for certain emulators you need to push circle to come out. For others it's X, and you know they've all got different systems for going in and modifying the games and making game saves and all that kind of thing. If I'm bad at this game or any game here, can I just point out that I'm actually playing this over the camera. Oh. Although I think in general I'm just bad at this game. I saw there's actually a new version of this that's coming out on the PS4 that I might actually get. It looks really good. I can't remember what it's called. But you can come out like this one. A lot of the time I think the PlayStation button works better for coming out of this. Return to game. No, I don't want that. Return to file browser. Oh, it must be circle. And how I come out? Exit emulation circle. Right. I'll just show you a few more games. I want to show you a few more games to show you what it's like. Perhaps something classic. Perhaps, let me see. Classic, then we're talking Sonic the Hedgehog, aren't we? Now you can change, like, for your controls, you can change what button does what. You know, you can reset the buttons and all that. Sonic the Hedgehog is there already. Here we go. So I'll just show you if I can. I'll zoom out a little just so you can see me actually playing it. Show me playing the controls. That's one of the things I loved about this as well. Like when you look at some of the spin isn't in Sonic the Hedgehog 1, is it not? That wasn't until Sonic the Hedgehog 2 that you could actually push down and spin. Yeah, if you look at some of the other ones, you know, you do see a lot of people complaining about the controls weren't too good, or the button sticks, or the D-pad isn't good. But this is a top quality controller. You know, it was designed for the masses. It wasn't just designed for a kind of niche market. This was designed mainstream. The controllers are great, and the design, I think it's amazing. I didn't buy this at the time because I had a PSP And oh, I missed it. I had a PSP and I didn't really want to spend £250 on playing essentially the same games or then having to pay a lot of money to download games. That's the kind of irony of this, is that at the time this was a terrible system to buy. It was expensive. It forced you to only buy digital games, or you had to transfer your games from disc to storage. But as a retro machine, this is the ultimate retro machine. You can, there's a lot of software out there. There's a lot of emulators. There's a big community for it. You'll find a lot of emulators out there, and I think the controls are great. I love how you can just slide it away and hide the controllers. It feels great. It's not too heavy. As I say, the only way is, where is it? I've got it here on Wikipedia somewhere. What does it weigh? It's quite light actually. It's like 158 grams, I think, something like that. Where's the weight? For the life of me, I can't find the weight now. It's coming up 5.57 ounces. I don't know what that is in grams. But it is very, very light. I'll just get, let me see, standard Super Mario. In fact, I'll get something even, Skate or Die. That's something even more bizarre. Oh, the system restart. Well, that's not good. That has literally never happened in all the years of me playing this. Not with that particular emulator. I'm not sure why I did that. So we'll go back down. This. I'll zoom in a little bit. Okay, 5.6 ounces or 5.7 ounces, and it's 158 grams including the battery. So, I don't know if it was that game. I'll try a different game then. Let me see. A classic NES game. That's Turtles. Oops, I pushed the wrong button. It's actually in this one, it's the circle to go ahead. I remember seeing this in the shop when I was a little kid. I remember being amazed at how good the graphics for this were, but I don't think they've aged as well as Mario has. Do you know what I mean? I still look at Mario Bros and I think the graphics are great, but now, some of you may be bamboozled by the fact that I would get something that can play thousands of PlayStation games, PlayStation portable games. Apparently this is a great PlayStation 1 emulator as well. I've downloaded, I did own quite a few PlayStation games because I used to have a PSP, but I've found that I play the retro games more, just because that's kind of what I bought it for as well, and because there's so many classic games. Now this, where was the emulator? I've got the Atari games there as well. Game Boy Advance games. This is the one emulator that's a real pain in the ass. This one, it just takes forever to load, and it kind of puts the system on shutdown almost. It takes so long to load, and once you select the game, it takes ages, and switching games is a pain. Now, clearly that's got nothing to do with the CPU. Well, I don't think it is, because this can play PlayStation games. It must be something to do with the emulator. But as far as retro consoles go, as far as a portable retro console goes, this, for me, I think this is one of the better options. Now, Admittedly, I haven't tried too many, but I remember at the time I looked at many different options. I looked at all the different portable gaming systems that were available and all the reviews about them. And a lot of the people were actually saying that what went against this one or what against the DS was the fact that they were expensive. But they're not expensive anymore. You can pick up these things fairly cheaply. I think we're at the point now where PSP Go's, though, they were cheap for years, but we might actually see them, they're becoming more of a collector's item because they're becoming rarer. At the time, I paid £31.99. It's about $40 US at the moment, and I bought this for myself, and then I liked it so much I bought it one for my brother. I got it from Granger Games in the UK, and mint condition. It's got a few scratches on it, but I think it was me that put those scratches on it. But you don't notice it when you're playing anyway. And I don't play this on a daily basis. I've got my Nintendo Wii U. I download games onto that. I've got my PS4. I've got a PS3 sitting there. I don't play this on a regular basis. If I was ever going to play a game portable, I'll probably buy the new 3DS, or I'll maybe just play games on my phone. But whenever I'm going travelling, I love this thing. It's absolutely amazing. It fits so easily into my pocket, and I can play thousands of old classic little games. I do find myself jumping between games and things like that, but it's all good. There's so many classic games in it. It's great discovering all the games that you didn't have as a child. Now you can see how long that took there. This is the Game Boy Advance games, and you can see how slow. You've got games like Advance Wars there. You can see how big a catalogue it was. So, if we look, let me see. I think, is there a quicker way to go down here? There we go. No. Sometimes there's a quicker way to go down, and sometimes there isn't. So you can actually play NES games on this as well through the classic NES series. Advance Wars is actually one of the better games on this. There's F-Zero. I've not been playing as many advanced games because of how annoying this system is as far as this emulator goes. So there must be a better emulator than this. What I would say though is that if you're looking for an emulator, a portable system for emulation, I think you're better not looking at the newer systems. You don't need one of the newer screens, like a 3DS or something like that. I would only buy that if you're going to be buying new games. If you want to be playing older games from the 80s and 90s, I think things like this are perfect. I've heard the Nintendo DS is great for emulation as well, but for me, just to play some nostalgic games from the 90s that you can't get anymore, I think this is amazing. This emulator is definitely not amazing. As you can see how long it takes to load up. It's an absolute pain in the bum. I'm going to have to find another one for that. Yeah, because it's effectively shutting down. What you then need to do then if this happens is switch it off. That's the only emulator that does that. All the other ones are fine. That's another thing I like about this as well. Like, you just pop it open and it should load up. Now, it will do, if you're I've reset this here because I pushed the button all the way there. But if I'm playing a game, Sonic or whatever I was playing, I can just close this down and then pop it up and it'll come back to exactly where I was. So I'll show you that just now, just to show you how it works. Right, so this is a game I played the other. Right, so watch. Okay, that doesn't work there. Alright, there we go. This is always happens when you're filming. So you can, if you have to pull it up to turn it off, but watch, if you just kind of do that, turns it off. If normally when you close it, it does close it off for you. And then just open it up. There we go. And it's back. So it's, for whatever reason, this is actually, oh there we go, because I hadn't pushed the button. And you can go out at any time. So there you go. This has been the Sony PSP Go. There's still a lot of these kicking about. I would check eBay. There's a lot of people selling them. I would also check old retro video game stores, you might see one of these hanging about. I think more people kind of gravitate towards the normal PSPs because you can put in the discs. But I've found that this is great for emulation, and it's been arguably the best money I've ever spent as far as video games goes, as far as bang for buck. I spent more on individual games than I have on this entire system. So that kind of puts it into perspective as to how good this is. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions about this, please let me know, and I'll put some useful links in the description area below. And yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, please do consider liking, sharing or subscribing. Leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer them. But if you've been looking for a retro console, please do check this out. I think it's one of the better options. It's light, it can play games right up to the mid 2000s, or in fact later than that, up to 2010, 2011, because it can play PSP games. It runs older games easily. It's got a decent CPU in it. You can pick up memory cards. They're a little bit rarer, but they are a little bit more expensive. Like for that 16 gigabytes, I paid £20. When you consider I paid only £32 for the system, relatively it's quite expensive, and for that storage you're paying about 4 or 5 times more than what you would normally. But you do need it, and it does increase the storage, so it is worth getting. I've all the the thumbstick, the controls, these will stand the test of time. These things will last for ages. It's really well built, and apparently changing the screen and changing the battery that's in there, that can be done easily. You can still buy these parts, and there's some good tutorials online that show you how to do it. So as far as having this system, it's very easy to mod and to put emulators and emulator games on it. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you found this useful, and again, if you've got any questions, ask a question below. Till next time, thanks for watching.